Darius is an overpowered prince who cannot have kids because his family jewels were cursed. However, when he learns that a freaky witch can cure him by offering her kitty, he asks her to move in with him so she can get piped every night and given royal babies. It all starts with Darius sneaking out of the castle with his subordinate Kaelin to look for the witch who can help lift Darius's curse. Soon after, they reach the Tower of Silver Dawn, which can grant any wish upon completion. But Kaelin warns Darius that climbing the tower is very dangerous. Despite his warning, Darius confidently steps in and takes the stairs, where he is greeted with an impossible mathematical question. After solving it, Darius heads to the next level and reveals that the last person who cleared the tower was his great-grandfather, Terran. Soon after, they reach a room with 2 gargoyle statues, and since Kaelin has played Dark Souls 1, he knows they will come to life. As expected, the gargoyles attack him, but he manages to take them down with ease. However, the floor begins to collapse, and Kaelin is stuck on the other side. Darius wants to save him, but he's too late, and Kaelin plummets to his death. Darius has no choice but to move ahead. So, he reaches the top floor where a cutie named Seraphine asks him to take a seat. As she serves him tea, Darius asks why she looks busting despite being centuries old, and she says her body stopped aging long ago. He then introduces himself to the witch, and she then summons her familiar Mira, who informs him that Kaelin is sleeping outside. He asks what happened to the challengers who die in here, and she says no one has ever died inside the tower, and anyone who fails a challenge is sent to the ground floor with their memories altered. She then asks why he's come here, and Darius reveals he has been cursed by the Witch of Silence. When he was young, she cursed both him and his father to ensure they could never have kids, but he doesn't know why. He tried everything over many years, and coming here was his last option. Seraphine praises him and realizes that he isn't cursed, but rather affected by a variant of a blessing. Turns out the blessing tries to protect any unborn baby inside the womb. But the magic is too strong for any mother to bear since she can't remove the blessing. She suggests he find a shoddy that can take 11 in and bear the burden of strong magic. Darius, being a certified Rizzler, asks Seraphine if she can withstand it, and she casually says yes. At this, he tells her his wish for clearing the tower is for her to marry him. Yes, yes, yes. But she freaks out and tells him no. When Darius keeps insisting, she decides to erase his memories and send him back. However, she notices him carrying the Royal Swordalarian, which has super high magic resistance. They decide to talk it out. And Darius says if she isn't going to marry him, she should at least live with him in Valmir for 1 year, after which she can return to the tower. After she agrees, they head outside and Darius introduces her to Kaelin as the witch's pupil, who will live with them and help remove the curse. On the way, he asks Seraphine to reconsider making Nepo babies with him, but she refuses yet again. A few days later, the duo is at the castle where Seraphine casts a spell on Darius that will negate all the physical and magical attacks on him. She further reveals that this spell cannot be broken as long as she is alive. So, he's basically become a raid boss now. Immune to others, Darius is still weak against poison and psychological attacks. So, she asks him to be careful. Darius once again asks if she would like to marry him, and he sighs in disappointment. Later, while helping Kaelin with books, she asks if Darius has anyone in the bloodline who could become his successor. He tells her all the babies from the royal palace mysteriously vanished 15 years ago. So Darius is now the youngest member of the royal bloodline. She then notices 2 mages, Ren and Lyra, lighting up chandeliers using magic. But when one of them suddenly falls, Seraphine uses a spell to make it slow fall. Ren notices that she didn't even use an incantation and reveals she's the pupil prince Darius brought from the witch's tower. She then sees General Corin and Malira sparring outside and learns that Corin is one of the best fighters the kingdom has to offer. However, Darius is even stronger than him, which explains how he conquered the tower. Seraphine decides to challenge Corin to a sparring match, and he is so impressed that he invites her to join him. After she turns him down, he joins Malira, who is wary of having a witch's pupil roaming the castle walls. Later, Lena appears to check up on Seraphine and notes that she seems to be enjoying her time in Valmir. She then tells her that something important has come up. So Seraphine visits Darius's office and informs him that she will be leaving for 3 days. Having formed a contract with her, Darius demands to know where she's headed, and she tells him she's going to the magical lake in Draven. Kalen freaks out and explains that that's the place where a demonic beast was sealed 70 years ago. Seraphine says some disturbance has been observed in the lake recently, and she's off to find who is responsible for it. When Darius says, "Oh, come with him," she reminds him of his duties as the crown prince of this kingdom, only to learn that Draven falls under Valmir's jurisdiction. As she gives him 1 hour to prepare, a mage named Varen and his partner Myril wait for her to show up at the magical lake. While waiting with the rest of the squad, Seraphine is approached by Lyra, who's excited to see a small dragon on her shoulder. Soon after, Darius arrives and informs the rest that the mission will be dangerous. He then places his hand on Seraphine's head and tells them to do what she says. As they use the teleporter, Seraphine recalls the last time she was here and realizes everyone she knew back then is now dead. Everyone she once knew passed on. Yet she has been stuck in the same place for centuries because this is the path she chose for herself. While she's daydreaming, Darius looks at her and realizes she's truly stunning. As they teleport to the fortress near the border, they spot a dark cloud forming over the lake and decide to check it out. On the way, Seraphine explains that Draven launched an invasion in Valmir 70 years ago by unleashing a beast, but it went berserk and attacked everyone in sight. In the end, the Witch of the Silver Dawn sealed it in the lake, but its miasma poisoned the land around it. As they walk through the thick fog, Seraphine notices someone's presence and calls them out. Just then, an old Draven mage shows himself and exposes Seraphine's cover as the Witch of Silver Dawn. Seraphine recalls she slayed the mage's master 70 years ago. So when she offers to give him the same treatment, he decides to skedaddle. However, he secretly casts a spell behind them. And despite the chaos, Darius manages to protect the others. Seraphine takes a swing at the old mage only to learn that he was a mere illusion placed here to ambush them. She then sees Lyra struggling to heal Kalen's wound, so she helps them with her extraordinary healing magic. However, everyone turns their attention to the fact that Seraphine is actually a witch. And even though Lyra welcomes her, Seraphine understands why others are now wary of her. She decides to follow the mage alone because she fears he will undo the seal. But Darius grabs her and declares that he is coming with her. She tells him to be more delicate if he wants to become a king.